Welcome to the Real Estate 401k Show. Here are your hosts, Ryan Gertis, Mike Weinstein, and Justin Frederick, helping you build a legacy of wealth through real estate. Powered by the Recon Group at West USA and the Frederick team with Fairway Mortgage. NMLS number 625918.
All right, Justin, you and I have, we've been in this business for a very, very long time. And there always seems to be a common thing amongst consumers. Like there's certain things where there's always confusion. And us being in the business, you know, we understand how loans and mortgages work and so forth. But if I had $1 for every time somebody thought that they had to have 20% down to get a mortgage, and so there's this misconception. And so I wanted to go through with you real quickly the loan programs, the top three, which I consider conventional loans, FHA, and VA loans, and one, where does this 20% misconception come from, and what are the different required down payments?
So I think the misconception comes from our parents' parents or our parents. I think they thought, or they saved up this 20% because they didn't want to pay the mortgage insurance, or maybe it came from.
Okay, well then that's a good point. Let's back up. What is mortgage insurance? Which to me, in my opinion, one of the greatest scams known to mankind.
Well, the thing is, people with the money have the power. They make the rules, right? So PMI, private mortgage insurance, is actually what it's called. And it's an insurance that's insuring the investors that you're going to make your payment. And if you don't make your payment, these investors will, these insurance companies will pay out the investors just to make sure you have the value there. So it's just an extra safety measure for investors.
So then if I come in with less than 20% down, chances are I'm going to be paying this PMI.
Correct.
Which then people get so caught up, oh my gosh, I can't pay PMI. I'm going to save up 20%. That's not how money works. The PMI payment is not that high. In my opinion, and my advice to our buyers is PMI, though it's painful just for the fact of what it is, it should never be a deterrent from buying a home, because the amount of money that you lose by waiting to save 20% does not, it is far surpasses what you pay in PMI.
That's right. Well, we're going to go down a little bit of a rabbit hole here with the PMI. So PMI can be expensive on conventional financing, depending on what your credit score is. It can be very cheap as well if you have a fantastic credit score. That's also why we have FHA. FHA has a wonderful PMI payment, and it's the same whether you have an 800 score or a 580 credit score. It's the same PMI payment, whereas conventional is based on tiers and grades. So as far as PMI goes, there's products that you can fit in that will make sense.
I get, but what I'm saying is just don't wait. Don't because you might have to pay PMI. Go through the motions of exploring it, and don't be that guy or don't be that girl that says, you know what, come hell or high water, I'm never going to pay PMI, so I'm going to wait so I can save 20%, because at the end of the day, a lot of us don't have that kind of income to save 20% to put down on a home. And then if we do, and it takes 3 or 4 years, how much money have we left on the table through lost appreciation?
I mean, think about it. Let's say it's a $300,000 house and you wait 4 years. What's the average? 5%, 4% appreciation?
4% a year.
All right. So what's that? $16,000 in 4 years? And then that's not even compounding. So that's, even $16,000 is a lot of money. You're not going to pay that much in PMI, I promise you that.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's go back to loan programs and down payments.
All right.
Minimum down payments.
If you're a first-time home buyer on conventional loans, you only need 3% down, Mike. 3%. If you have a low to moderate income, which depends on where you live, but in the state of Arizona, that's $71,040. If you're at 80% of the AMI, the average market income, you can do 3% whether it's your first or your second home. FHA, 3.5%
Well, I
down.
want to go back to conventional because the natural assumption everybody thinks the minimum down payment when I get a conventional loan is 5%. That's what I hear. A lot of people don't realize that there are 3% down options for conventional loans.
There are. And majority of the time, you have to be a first-time home buyer. Again, unless you're under that 80% of the AMI, average market income. But yeah, 3%, that's it. We get a lot of people that call in that are looking for down payment assistance because they don't have the funds. That's what they're saying. And then we look and, well, you have 5% total. Well, I don't have the money for the closing costs. Well, it's only going to be 3% down to purchase this home under this conventional product as a first-time home buyer. They're just blown away. And it's incredible that people don't know that it's 3%.
So it's amazing the thought that I could go out as a first-time home buyer, buy a $300,000 appreciating asset. And as we always like to remind our listeners that I guarantee you there's nothing on your credit card statement that's an appreciating asset, and you're paying you're paying 20% on this. But you could buy a $300,000 first-time home if we could finagle it and get the seller to pay your closing costs.
Yeah.
You literally could walk into a $300,000 appreciating asset with only $9,000. That's mind-blowing to me.
It really is. It's not that much down. It's remember the days when it was 104%, you could finance everything, but the interest rate was out of this world.
I've done a few of those.
Yeah, but it's still so close. It's not far off. And I think I'm going to jump a little bit here, but I think a lot of people don't even realize where you can get that money from too.
Well, and I want to talk about that. So I want to walk us through FHA and walk us through VA
Sounds
real quick.
good. I'm jumping all over the place this morning.
That's all right. It's all right. It's 10 o'clock in the morning, and we're already drinking. Cheers, buddy.
Nothing like starting off the day like that.
Oh my God, it's gonna be a solid day.
Yeah, we love this stuff.
I don't know how I'm gonna get home. I haven't had it breakfast yet.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
So FHA.
3.5% down. Solid. 3.5% down. Traditionally, FHA has lower interest rates as well than conventional. Now, it depends on the time of the market too. But the thing with FHA is the mortgage insurance is for life. So what we like to say is this is a short-term product for you. We're working to get into conventional. But the key is home ownership. We don't want you to wait to get those credit scores up to get into a conventional loan because we don't know what's going to happen with the market as far as what products may do. Maybe someday they're going to come out and say minimum down payment for a conventional is 5%. Maybe someday they're going to say FHA is 10%. You never know. There could be changes. Nothing is set in stone.
All right, so VA loan, pretty much if you are a veteran or active military, you've served this country. First of all, thank you for your service. And we don't say that lightly. But I theoretically, if I've got all of my eligibility on my VA certificate, I could buy a home putting nothing down.
See it all the time. You guys are wonderful at that. You guys, we get VA buyers all the time. I mean, we have Luke Air Force Base out here, and you guys are
I love those guys
well
and gals.
into it, yeah. And 100% financing, and a lot of times you guys are able to pull off seller concessions on those guys, and we are seeing people get their earnest money refunded.
I know
that's incredible.
Imagine here's the keys to your house, and here's a check.
Right. Here's the check that you didn't think you were getting back. You forgot about it.
All right. If you'd like some more information, we want you to text the word money to 623-AZ-RECON. That's money to 623-AZ-RECON. We're going to put you in touch with Justin and his team. All right. Investment properties. I now want to go out. I want to buy a property that I am saying and disclosing I'm never going to live in, or I don't have any intentions of living in it. I'm going to put a renter in there. I'm going to turn it into an Airbnb. I'm going to turn it into a group home, whatever the case is. Walk me through the down payments, why they're so high, and the difference between putting 20% down versus 25% down.
Okay, so actually, you're only required a minimum down payment on an investment property of 15%.
Right.
The problem with 15% is the fees are out of this world. The mortgage insurance is extremely expensive. So being that the fees are so expensive, typically it's not much more to hit that 20% because of the fees, the points that come along with it. So now I always tell you guys the magic point is 25%. So 20% is great. You get rid of the mortgage insurance. You get a better interest rate than the 15%. It's less closing costs. Now, when you get to the 25%, it's where our loan level pricing adjusters have a big impact on interest rate and closing costs. So typically you're talking about 1%, maybe 1.5% less on cost, and you're talking about possibly 0.25% to 0.3% less on rate. So for me, that's a big enough savings as one cost, because I want to pay the least amount of cost and have the fastest recoup time that I can have. And I'm putting my money back into my investment by putting that 5% into the investment.
Okay, so now I'm a first-time home buyer, second-time home buyer. Maybe I do want to buy an investment property, but I do not quite have that kind of liquid jack laying around. What are some creative ways? Because this is the other thing that people don't understand. They go, "Oh my gosh, I need X amount of dollars to buy a house. I'm looking at my checking account, and it's just not adding up." What are some other places that we can go to for down payment? And not talking about down payment assistance from the government, but
Sure.
I'm just talking about through retirement accounts, mom and dad, gifts, things like that.
Yeah. So we have people do all kinds of wild stuff. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about it.
I think we've done a few of those.
Yeah. So 401k. I love the 401k. And the reason why I love it is you can take a loan from your own 401k. You could pay yourself back interest and still make money on that money, but you're transferring the money from one asset to another asset, an appreciating asset. So a lot of people are like, I don't want to touch my retirement funds because those need to work for me. Well, do you not think that your home's going to work for you? Have you not seen what the housing prices have done? Let's just say in the last 20 years.
I've always made more money on my real estate than what my IRA and what my 401k has made. Always, historically,
you have to be very, very risky, and you have to be very lucky to
really
make money on those kind of investments more than your home. But yeah, 401k, I love that. I'll have people reach out to family members for gifts, and I would say more than 50% of the time. They always come back to us and say, my folks are willing to gift me. My grandparents are willing to gift me. My aunt or uncle is willing to gift me. So it's a good question to ask.
What about getting a loan from an employer?
You can't take a loan. It's got to be a gift.
Okay.
Now, an employer can gift you funds for down payment. That is something that you're.
I've got to work around. Just text us.
Yeah.
I got to work around.
Okay.
You don't want earmuffs, Justin.
Yeah. No, la 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 la. The other thing that we see people do a lot of times is sell things around their home, and I'm talking about cars, toys,
children.
Wow. I hope you're making a lot of money out of that. Actually, no,
kidneys.
that's terrible.
What about
My mind
kidneys?
goes to like trafficking and stuff. That is not good. Not good.
All right. Well, this is Justin Frederick from the Frederick team at Fairway Independent Mortgage. There is a lot that goes into obviously getting a mortgage, but understanding down payments, understanding the myths out there, but the creative ways in which to get your funds for a down payment. We want to put you in touch with this team. All you got to do is text the word money to 623-AZ-RECON. That's money to 623-AZ-RECON.
Thank you for joining us on the Real Estate 401k Show. If you want more information on how to build wealth, click on the link or text us at 623-297-3266. That's 623-AZ-RECON.